But what's the difference between motivation and inspiration? I would say motivation would be something like being in a wedding and you want your skin to look nice. Or being in a wedding and let's say, you're motivated to lose weight for the sake of fitting in your dress. Those are, I think, some examples of motivation. Inspiration is different. First of all, the word is just better. Inspiration means to be in the spirit. Now, inspiration, do we want to be in the spirit of God or do we want to be in the spirit of whatever is the spirit of the culture? The spirit of whatever's going on. Do we want to be in good spirits? All of these are good questions. So ultimately, I would argue we want to be inspired because we want to be inspired by activities that are food for the soul. So rather than being, for example, and motivated to get things done because I want to look good for a wedding, I should make sure that in day-to-day life, having nothing to do with being in a wedding, I should be engaging in activities that bring me joy. Now, I gave a really simple example because a lot of us tend to go chasing things that motivate us for temporary motivation, short-term benefits, such as being in a wedding or running a 5K, whatever it might be. And we think and perceive that these things are going to make us happy, but it's not really the looking good for photos or achieving that run in and of itself that brings us happiness. We have to have things day to day that help solidify us, help us to maintain as the days and years go on. Because otherwise, this being in a wedding motivation to make my skin look good, make sure I fit in my dress and all these things, it's false because it's motivation for a perceived type of happiness. I'll be happy because I fit in my dress, or I'll be happy because the scarring on my skin isn't so bad. But we need to turn more so to being inspired, not turning to superficial demands and external demands that are placed on us, again, such as being in the wedding, being skinnier, whatever it might be. What should inspire us? Things that make us feel at peace. Things that we delight in. Not just want to achieve to have that check mark, such as a run. Things that have to do with the gifts and even desires. Desires aren't bad, but desires that fall under reason, desires that we have, because all of us have different desires. And some of our desires, a lot of our desires are actually good if they're in conversation and subjected to reason. We also want to engage in activities that free us up to think and have clarity, that reduce our anxiety, that give us energy, that make us feel rested. Activities that actually lead us to an act of prayer. What are all of these things? What should these things be? They should ultimately be food for the soul. Things that actually allow us to be restored in God, to better understand ourselves, to feel more in touch with ourselves. So my question for you, and maybe you want to share, I'd love to hear from you. You can comment live on Instagram, or you can go ahead and give me a call. The number is 1-888-914-9149. I'd love to hear your thoughts and share them during the show. So here's what inspires me, or here are my kind of joy activities. I like to refer to these as joy activities, and I've shared them before. Number one, I love being outside. Now, when I say outside, it needs to be, a nice landscape, whether it's just out hiking, sitting out in the sun, looking at the beautiful trees or plants, getting that fresh air, feeling the breeze on my face. All of this, I feel energized, motivated, rested. I'm able to calm my mind. I'm at peace. I'm able to slow down from the fast-paced life that we live. Another one is I love to read. Now, this could be anything from mystery novels to theology, philosophy. Could be a meditation. Right now I'm meditating while going to the Blessed Sacrament on the Visits to the Eucharist by St. Alphonsus Liguori. It's Visits, I think, to the Blessed Sacrament and to Our Lady is the name of it. Fantastic. They're short little meditations if you want some juice for when you go to adoration or for a holy hour. The third thing is exercise. Exercise dance. It's been a huge thing for me. I grew up dancing my whole life: ballet, tap, jazz, West Coast swing, all sorts of ballroom. Believe it or not, I hip hop danced and even took break dancing classes for a few years. Fun fact. Yes, I did. In fact, a lot of people didn't know that, and it was funny because my brother and sister-in-law were here a couple weeks ago with their kids, and we don't have a TV, so they're like, what do we do with our kids at your house? There's no TV. It's kind of just like one of those moments of like, we're all just sitting here. You don't really have kids' toys for my kids either. And I was like, well, come on, let's sit on the floor. I'm like, I can stand on my head. And I can't do this well, but I can do it. I can like spin once, maybe twice on my head and like still stay balanced. I can hit a breaker pose. Anyways, dancing has always been something really fun. I love the challenge, the control that's necessary, the movement, the growth, the change that can occur within the body to grow and develop and be stronger in certain areas. I love it. It's motivating for me. And this is where, teaching Pilates and exercising, all of that falls in. If I could, I would be taking dance classes every day. But these are all my joy activities: outdoors, reading, and exercise, also dance. What are your joy activities? I want to encourage you to discover what they are and be able to list 3 and have these 3 things be things that you turn to regularly, if not daily. I try to make sure I spend time outside, that I read, and that I at least exercise every single day, because these literally make me a better person. These inspire me to pray. These give me more energy, help me to be more at peace, be a better wife, because they're all things that allow me to grow, to self-reflect and not self-obsess. They're not wrong motivations. Like, a lot of us can have a motivation of, I'll feel better if I just lose that weight to fit in this dress for a wedding coming up. That's great. That's a motivation. But it's not inspiration. It's not something that's going to inspire you upward and make you better. You see, motivation turns us inward and actually usually makes us aggressive. Inspiration takes us upward. It makes us better. It actually orients us in a better way to other people. So I'd encourage you, be able to list your 3 things, your inspiration activities that will truly make you a happier person.